again. So थोड़ा सा आपको बुलाया दी हुई थी, तो छोटा हूँ थोड़ा माफ कर देना. So we have come to a point now where politics has become so dirty, extremely dirty, that it's all about muscle power, money power. It's no longer about democracy. Now we are here appealing to a very ignored section of the society. It's called the law-abiding, tax-paying citizen of India. Guess what? हम किसी पार्टी में वोट बैंकिंग के लिए हमारी हैसियत ही नहीं है, क्योंकि हम जो है 100 सवाल पूछते हैं. So we are ignored. That is why Lok Satta Party has come out. Lok Satta Party is representing those people who have no representation. And आज देखा जाए तो जितनी भी हमारी ट्रेडिशनल पार्टीज हैं, the grand old parties of India, they have got a 19th century policies for a 21st century India. हर पार्टी में आप देखेंगे अच्छे लोग हैं, बुरे लोग तो पहले न्यूज़पेपर में आते हैं, अच्छे लोग भी हैं, but their fundamentals are completely screwed up. Excuse my word, but that's the reality. पुराने फंडामेंट्स लेकर के नई दुनिया में चलने की कोशिश करते हैं, नहीं चल सकता. आप 1962 के एम्बेसडर लेकर के आज के होंडा सिटी की विरुद्ध चलाने की कोशिश करोगे तो कैसे चलोगे? नहीं होगा. लोक सत्ता पार्टी आगे देख रही है, होंडा सिटी के बाद क्या. इसलिए द फर्स्ट ऑफ द डिबेट्स, ये पहला ही है. लोग आएंगे, काफी हम इन पे चर्चा करेंगे, डिस्कशन होगा, डिबेट्स होगा, कहीं ना कहीं there will be progress. It may be one step, but we must remember one thing: the road to success starts with the first step. The road to success is also hell-bent. There are a lot of problems. आसान नहीं है, बहुत करना पड़ेगा. So I will now introduce you to the various people. I must apologize. I have to look at my papers. I'm not that expert. I got the senior editor of Hindustan Times, who will be our moderator for today. Mr. Gaikwad, you can continue. Please have a seat. He is going to be in the hot seat, so he is going to be taking all the. Oh yeah, thank you. We also have a eminent citizens who are going to be the panelists. I will introduce you to Mr. Y.P. Singh, former IPS officer. He is also an anti-corruption crusader, wrote a wonderful book, was made into a wonderful movie, Kya Yahi Sach Hai. So congratulations, Mr. Singh, if you can come up please. And we are also joined by Mr. Nitay Mehta, Parja. The website is really wonderful. It's liked by citizens who are looking at it. It's also hated by the politicians. It shows the report card of what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. Mr. Nitay Mehta, if you can just please come to the stage. Thank you, sir. And Madam Shama Kulkarni. She's the trustee of AGNI, the Action for Good Governors. I'm sure she has got a lot of viewpoints. Mrs. Shama Kulkarni, please. And Madam Karul Kumtha, she is a renowned architect. She is an expert on open spaces. I'm sure she'll have a lot of wonderful knowledge to share with us. Madam, if you can just come up. And the most important part of our democracy, the people. I welcome you and thank you for attending, because without the people, nothing happens. So it's wonderful that you are here, and can I have an applause for all the people who are attending, please. It's your participation that will make the change, otherwise nothing will change. So I hand over the mic now and the proceedings to Mr. Gaikwad. He is in the hot seat. I'm sure he'll have a fun time moderating everything. Over to you.
Before I begin, I would like to thank the organizers for organizing my seminar, and which is focused on something I think our politicians are not being used to. accountability to the people. Unfortunately,
Mr. Hansel has joined us. My apologies that we do not have you. Mr. Singh, why don't you join us on the stage, please? Mr. Hansel is also here. Mr. Hansel. I did not see you sitting back there. Because Shadramani had some personal issues, so he could not come. He had requested Mrs. Vidya Vaidya to attend, but then she had an emergency, so she could not come. So we'll be missing them. They are quite fearful debaters at times. So I think we have got everybody on board now, and we can continue. Thank you. Sorry for that.
Okay, I'll begin. Unfortunately, for our democracy, most of us are convinced that politics has become sort of most lucrative business, and those who get elected are probably more interested in using that election as an opportunity to make money. Not all of us, but I guess many of them. And I think the civic elections are the best time when we can raise this issue and discuss. Mr. Madhav Bhandari from BJP. I'll just point out a couple of instances in the BMC which would probably highlight the need for accountability to the people. In past 5 years, BMC spent about 5,000 crore rupees on building and maintaining roads in the city. What has happened for all of us to know? The roads are full of potholes, craters, and a lot of noise was made over that little before election. Mr. Bhandari's party as well as Shiv Sena accused media of being biased sometimes. But I hope that there will be these kind of issues will be debated now, and I really congratulate Satta for starting something like this. I now invite Mr. YP Singh to share his thoughts with us.
The words which I have been listening all the time is accountability. I still don't understand what accountability means, because I am basically a lawyer, and in the realm of law, if a word is not specifically defined, that has got no meaning. What accountability is required to be defined in minutest of the details. And I think this is one of the major flaws of the Constitution of India. Well, it can be defined, I am talking of legal definition. Anyway, legal definition which is required to be placed in the Constitution of India, and that is not really defined. And since the definition is not very specific, definition is not very specific. Lots of things which turn haywire, that really goes haywire, and that's why the consequences which follow on account of lapses which call for accountability, that is not specifically done the way it should go logically. So I think one of the major drawbacks in our election system is that accountability is not defined. It has to be specifically defined and in the legal framework so that it can be enforced in the court of law. And since there is no legal definition, the justiciability means it can be enforced in the court of law, that is not forthcoming. This is something very, very important, and that is the reason why for the past 60 years so many politicians have come. They do whatever they want, and an overwhelming number of them, they just get away without any adverse consequence visiting them. Well, we are here with the BMC elections at the moment, and lots of issues. Of course, I'm primarily a lawyer. I never call myself an activist. But since dealing with certain things, like of late, I took up the case of extension of Subodh Kumar, BMC Commissioner. Well, he has been doing quite good work all the time, so we really didn't come on his way, though there were lots of provocations to do so. One of the major reasons why we took it against him was that elections are on, and two Congress governments, if they go out of the way and give him extension, what credibility would the general citizen and the candidates would have over the impartiality of the municipal commissioner? Government came out with the pretext, municipal commissioner is not involved with elections and therefore nothing to do with it. Well, if you see the BMC Act, section 28, 32, 33, whatever, there's a whole lot of sections. The election starts with the municipal commissioner. It ends with the counting and declaration of result by the municipal commissioner. His name has been referred to in all these sections of law, not once but scores of times, maybe 30, 40, 50 times. His name is there. And the government says, government of Maharashtra says, municipal commissioner is not involved in elections and therefore we are giving him extension and it has got no bearing with extensions. Now who is going to take this argument? Not even a fool would ever accept these pretexts. This is what the government is. Anyway, we made a representation. We quoted the specific provisions of law because under the law there is no provision to give an extension to a municipal commissioner. The exceptions which are there is with reference to the chief secretary or cabinet secretary and home secretary in Delhi. There's a specific exceptions are there. And there is no provision, and that's why, except the chief secretary, in the past 6-7 years, I think in the past 10 years when the new law came up, when the retirement age was increased from 58 to 60, not a single extension has been there of an IS officer in general. So, an exception was made on frivolous context, saying that elections are there, expediency is there, therefore extension should be given. When the law doesn't provide for any extension, why should extension be there? And the law also is very clear in government service that no one is indispensable. Because of you, the government and the organization doesn't function. Any incumbent, if he holds the post, he can perform as good as his predecessor or his predecessor. So, still they were adamant, there were thoughts going on, lots of politics going on whether extension should be there, it should not be there. Now, the ugly scene started appearing on 31st of this month, January, because under the law, under the All India Services rules, a person is supposed to retire on the afternoon of the particular day he is supposed to retire, and there's also an executive instruction that if there's no order specific to retirement, the person should hand over charge to his next senior most officer and push off. Now, 5:30 happened, extension didn't come. Technically, office had closed. Mr. Subodh Kumar ceased to be the municipal commissioner under the government instructions. And lots of politics was going on, calls going to Delhi, extension coming, not coming, because we had put a lot of pressure on the government that you are doing an illegal thing. 8 o'clock.